Hello YouTube, Fuzz here, welcome back to Star Ocean The Last Hope, and today we're going to be finally leaving the planet of Eos. So I recommend making sure that you make a backup save at this point, should you have missed anything and want to come back and not have to start the game again. So in terms of what you should have, if you're going for the Platinum Trophy, you need the spaceships 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 12, 15 and 16. They're the spaceships you should have if you've been following along. And also monster data as well. I do actually need to get a little bit more for the giant bat and the killer Chele, but you can't do Amoros more than 30% at the moment. And you will have to do multiple playthroughs for the bosses as well, unfortunately. But that's what you should be on. I think that's everything. Yep. So there's also 6 chests as well to loot around this base, which you'll need for the platinum, because they are missable. They do disappear later. By the way, I didn't mention before, but if you do have a full inventory on an item that's in a chest, you can actually go to your menu, and apologies if I've got a bit of a stuffy nose, that's probably coming through, but you can go to the item that you're maxed out on and hit the touchpad, and you can discard one of those items in order to loot the one that you couldn't before loot. So a bit of a tip for you. But whenever you're ready, in terms of level, I'm about level 12 on Edge and Raimi, well exactly level 12 in fact. And level 8 on Phase. Probably do with a little bit more in terms of levels there. But that's going to do for the time being. And I've also got a whole ton of battle trophies since we've been collecting those as well. So this is where you're probably going to want to save your game, here on the Kelnus. And as I say, make a backup save as well. And then we'll move on. Once you're all saved up, we're going to head into the flight deck area and just speak to or interact with the console here, but don't launch just yet, because once you've interacted with it once, you want to speak to Phase, and he's going to give us a new item known as the Monster Jewel, and then a bit of information about what the Monster Jewel actually does. We can imbue data from it, from a monster, and it gives us some extra power. So we'll look at that a little bit later on. Once you've spoken to Phase, interact with the system once more, and Phase will tell us he's found a habitable planet. So now we can go ahead and launch, and then the short scene is going to commence.
Main engine ports connected. Well, how does the captain's chair feel?
So, this is how Crow sees the world.
Edge?
Being a captain means you have to take responsibility for an entire ship, an entire crew. It's a heavy responsibility. Crow bears this burden every day of his life.
Buck up, Edge. Look, you're one step closer to Crow now, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Besides, we 3 comprise the entire crew of the Kelnus.
Now that you mention it, I guess we do. So listen, don't let this get to you. Just be yourself, okay?
Thanks, Raimi. One day, I'll be able to bear this responsibility properly. I swear it. Star Ocean, here we come!
Captain, launch preparations complete.
Likewise, ready to depart.
All right? Kelnus, engage!
Yes, sir!
Right, so now we've launched through into warp space, And every time we go to a new planet, or a new destination, what's going to happen is we need to trigger a certain number of cutscenes through private actions in order to get the game to get us to arrive at our destination. And we actually need to do this anyway because we need to unlock the endings for all of the different characters in the game, the secret endings. And the reason we need to do that is because it's going to unlock a whole bunch of trophies for us. So we're going to start on this particular journey, and we're going to start by speaking to Raimi. And this is going to kick off private action number 2. We did private action number 1, if you remember, back on AOS. That was the mysterious flowers action. So now we'll start the next. And I'm not going to be able to read through this today, unfortunately, because of this blocked nose that I've got. So I'll just let you read it yourself as we go through here. Oh, sorry about that lack of commentary there. I did have to have a bit of a sneezing fit, but hopefully now it's mostly out of my system. So once we've gone ahead and done the second private action, we're going to go ahead and leave the flight deck there and head upstairs. And then head into this area here. Oh, no, wrong area. Trying to find where we're going now. Actually, I think it's right back where we came from, you know. Yeah. I don't know how I missed it. Right, here we go. So we've got FaZe and Raimi here in the recreation area. And all we need to do is start by speaking to Raimi. And then we're going to speak to FaZe. And this is going to do private action number 3. So you'll remember Crow, no doubt, from earlier on. They were having a bit of a tiff, him and Edge. And we seem to get that little jingle. I think that means that it's the end of the private action, so that you know that you've done it correctly. And anyway, that is the next one complete, so we're going to head back upstairs here. And we just want to head into this room down here, where Raimi's located. This is Raimi's bedroom, and we'll speak to her for the next private action. So this is private action number 4. And Raimi does want to just reminisce about how it is that they've got to where they are. But also the fact that we're in unknown territory. Our mission, of course, is to find a new habitable planet for the citizens of Earth, since Earth is, well, no longer habitable, thanks to the war. By the way, if you didn't know already, this game is a prequel to the other Star Ocean games that came out before it. So in the terms of the lore or the canon, this is actually set before any of the other Star Ocean games that you may have played, which is why it's a great game to actually get into the series with, since you don't really need to have an entire understanding of the franchise in order to get into the story with The Last Hope. Right, so we're getting through these private actions here, but there's still a couple more to do. And we're once again going to speak to FaZe and Raimi here. This is going to be number 5. And we'll have an option on this one, so make sure you choose the right one. I'll show you when we get to it. Okay, so we get the 2 options, and the one we want to choose is the bottom one. The second option, I'm sorry that happened, FaZe. And then we get another jingle. And what we want to do now is, once again, head out of the recreation room and back in again. And we're going to chat to them once more. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the weaponry, in particular between FaZe's and Edge's weapons. Now, we're going to get another option in a moment. And I don't actually know if it really matters which one that we actually choose here. But I've done a little bit of research over the internet. And the second option is possibly thought to affect affinity in a good way. So that's what I'm going to choose. But I don't really think it makes a difference. And there we have the little jingle once more. And that's the final private action we need to do in order to get the system to, well, or for the game to conclude with our destination. So now we can go ahead and land on the planet. Obviously there's going to be a few enemies that we're going to need to take care of during our time here. And we are going to be on this planet, by the way, for a good amount of time as well. But there are quite a few environments for us to explore there, so it's not going to be, you know, all samey in that sense. But be prepared for the long haul while we're here. And now we've landed, so what we want to do at this point... Oh, okay, we need to just go ahead and speak to people first. Give us a bit of information about the planet itself. And it happens to have an atmosphere very similar to that of Earth. Well, that's pretty handy, isn't it, really?
Just my imagination?
Right, so we now get control once again of our party on the planet, but before we do anything else, we've got a few more private actions to take care of. 3 more to be precise, and all with Edge and FaZe. So we're going to head back upstairs here and into Edge's bedroom, FaZe's bedroom actually, I beg your pardon. Trying to remember which one it is. It's been a while since I've been in here. Ah, that's it. I knew it was one of those two. So we'll go ahead and speak with FaZe. And FaZe just wants a bit of information about Earth. And now we need to head back into FaZe's bedroom and speak to him again. This is going to kick off the second of the 3 private actions that take place with FaZe. So now we're giving him a bit of information about the home planet. And I know this isn't the most exciting episode, but unfortunately it is stuff that we do need to get through, especially if we want to platinum out the game. So that's why we're doing all this at this point now. And we're nearly there now, guys. Almost through it. Just one more private action. Oh yeah, on this one we do get an option that we need to go ahead and select, and all we want to select is there's nothing to apologise for. So that's the second option. And at last, we've got through all the private actions. We can actually space these out, by the way, because while we're on this planet, at least for the first part of this planet, we can go ahead and just come back and do them. But I did want to get them all done and out of the way, so now we haven't got to worry about them at all, or worry about missing them. And I'm going to go and save now. You can go out to the planet if you want and do a little bit of grinding with some of the new enemies. Start adding them to your monster data and collecting items that they drop for the quests on this planet, which are all missable, by the way, so that is important. But don't enter the village until you're ready to continue with the story, because that's what's going to kick off the next set of events. But I'm going to finish off here today, guys, so thanks for stopping by, and hopefully this video has been helpful to you. I know it's not been the most enjoyable episode, just going through lines of dialogue, but as I say, we did need to get it done. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.